right, welcome to the TSG video podcast for June 1st.
Yeah.
This is my parents' anniversary.
Oh.
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
We've been married for a long time. Anyway, this is John Abaticola sitting with,
Dan Gorderpassi.
as always, and we're looking at an N-scale articulated daylight car.
Yeah, this is...
Or two cars, I guess.
Well, I think it counts as one.
Well, I'm just going to be contrary and count it as two, though.
Okay.
But it is daylight, though, right?
It's a daylight. Yeah, this is a Kato articulated chair car for the daylight set that they put out a couple years ago. And basically what I want to do to it is install a lighting kit and install the kinematic couplers that they put out as an option for these. So basically to do that you have to take the car apart. So you just basically give a little twist and that loosens the shell.
Oh, there's no screws and all that junk?
Not to get the shell off. There we go. Just, very gently take that out. And then go ahead and do both ends.
Hey, there's little chairs in that thing.
Yeah, that's why they call it a chair car.
It makes sense,
So now I'm going to loosen the tabs to get the floor up a little bit, because some of the Kato cars you don't need to do this, but I don't think I can get the contact strips in unless I loosen this.
So you're just lifting the floor off the car body, sort of?
Yeah, just slightly, because these are these little contact strips that they provide in the Kato lighting kit, and they have to go under the floor.
So does that pick up the power from the track somehow?
Yeah, there's a little stud on the trucks on both sides.
Oh, that's what they called me when I was a kid. The little stud.
Little stud.
Kate, they didn't really call me that.
Yeah, there's a little contact. Well, you can't really see it, but
So does it rub on the wheel or what?
well, there's these. The trucks have little copper strips here, and those are connected to the ends of the axles.
Okay.
And then there's a little extension of that copper piece that goes up into the car body,
I see.
and that contacts these two things.
Right.
So-
So that's where the power for the light comes from. I
Right.
get it.
All right, so this is the basic circuit board. It's got a this is an LED right here, this little white thing. And then there's this bracket that it attaches to. And the bracket just kind of fits over the top.
So that hole is for the LED?
Yeah. So you kind of have to... Yeah, I guess that's together.
Seems like it would snap or something, doesn't it?
It did. Wasn't... Yeah. There's a little tiny tab on the back of the circuit board right here that fits in a little hole.
Wow,
right
that's
here.
really small.
Yeah, it is pretty small. So
That's N scale for you.
yeah. Now this LED is sort of a bluish color. So they also have these little attachments you can.
Oh, little filters.
Yeah, if you want to make it a more yellow color, you can use one of these. Most of the passenger cars I've seen seem to have fluorescent lighting, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it with the blue color. And then you basically just put this in.
Yeah, though, Dan, the daylight ran a long time ago.
Well, that's true. That's true. I'm not actually sure what would be more accurate.
I bet you those other ones are more accurate because they probably were using incandescent lights.
Probably.
Which
Well,
would
maybe I
be
should use it.
That would be a warmer color than your fluorescent or your bluish light that you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Try it then. See what happens.
You can always take them off if you don't like them, I guess, right?
Yeah. So you got to cut these out. The lighting kits come with 6 kits, which is enough for 6 regular cars or 3 of these articulated cars, because the articulated cars take 2.
Yeah, because there's 2 cars, like I told you in the first place.
Yeah. So I guess if I want to do that, that means I probably have to take this apart to get this in.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I bet it is more accurate, though, because
Probably.
incandescent bulbs have a much warmer temperature than than a fluorescent bulb, and I don't think they were using fluorescents back in the times of the.
Well, maybe not in the 40s now. I don't know when fluorescent lights were invented, but anyway, these have a little tab, and I'm making that face up because I think it basically has to catch under this thing. So let's kind of work this in here. Yeah, and then snap it back down. Yeah, I see how that works. Yeah, pretty slick. So Kato stuff is engineered pretty well usually.
This is Japanese engineering, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, then the other thing is in the roof of the car, and they give you this little. Now, one of the things with this lighting kit, they give you a reflector strip and a little. This is kind of a thing that carries the light forward through the car. The only thing is, this is made for an 85-foot car, and since this is an articulated car, they're a little short, so I think I'm going to have to cut this thing, which they say you can do. I don't know, I probably have to remove like a couple of the segments here. But let me go ahead and put in the reflector strip. This is peel and stick, but I'm also going to have to cut this. Cut it about there, I guess. So, try to thread this underneath. Okay, so I got that in there, and then I can go ahead and stick it down.
So does it provide a pretty even light?
Actually, yeah, this works pretty well. I haven't done a chair car before, but I've done some regular type cars, and they work actually pretty well. So this looks like there's actually a little. The cars are all designed for this, the Kato cars. There's a little niche right here, and that basically holds these little tabs. So I gotta position it there and to figure out how much I need to cut off. And it looks like probably, yeah, 2 segments. Because I think if I leave, yeah, it'll be too long because you wouldn't want it to interfere with this this thing. So I'm gonna cut it right here. Okay, so I got a piece of scrap wood here that I'm using as a cutting board. I'm just gonna take a razor saw and just saw it. So these little this little clear piece has these little grooves on one side, and that actually is the top, so that goes toward the top of the car.
Yeah, I noticed those grooves. How can you tell if did the directions? Oh, I see. So it fits into that slot that way.
Yeah, the directions said to do it that way. That's why. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do before I put this back together is install the Kato, what they call a kinematic knuckle coupler set, and I think they come, 10 pair to a box. And each individual coupler pair looks like this. You basically have to cut it apart. You cut off this middle piece. Anyway, to get the truck off, you have to pry these 2 little tabs that fit around this little round thing. And it's a little tricky. You want to do it really gently because you don't want to break it. Kind of got to get one side, and I think I just went back in. There. Okay. Then you have to take the coupler off, and the way that works is it's held on, like most Kato stuff, it's held on with clips. So you gotta pry it loose. Inside. Yeah, that's the trouble. You pry one side loose and it snaps back before you can get the other side. Oops.
The car protesteth.
Yeah. It doesn't want this to be done. There. Okay, there it goes.
Well, you know, they've been together a long time.
Yeah.
The car and the original coupler, they might miss each other, so the car's trying to distract you, so that the coupler can make its escape.
I'll have to put that back in a minute.
Yeah, maybe you should have put the couplers on first, huh?
I'm thinking that, yeah, maybe that would have been a better sequence. Anyway, these little things fit in this little slot under here, and then you got to kind of work there's this little nub. I don't know if this shows up. There's a little nub right here, and that nub has to go in this groove. So you kind of have to work it in there.
Oh, there's more play there, huh?
Yeah, see, it when it's straight, it pulls it back because of the way the groove is shaped. It pulls the coupler closer, but when it goes out to a curve, it allows the coupler to extend.
Well, that's some really interesting engineering.
Yeah.
I wonder why they don't just build it with that to begin with. You know, I mean, is there like this big market for all these little aftermarket parts that you can put together?
I guess so. Anyway.
Doesn't it seem like it would make sense to build it that way?
Yeah, it would. These are the contact strips I was talking about. This is the copper contacts underneath, and then this is these little studs here on the trucks.
Oh, right, my old nickname.
Yeah. And you just put it back in. Okay. So now all that's left is to put the shells back on, and you want to make sure that this light, you know, this clear piece in here is going to stay there. Looks like it's going to stay there long enough for me to get this back together. So we just snap it in. You want to make sure it's fully together so that the skirt comes up to the bottom of the shell and on this side. Alright, and I did the same exact thing with this side. Just put it back on too. And it's back together.
So should we put this thing on a track and see what it looks like?
Yeah, let's put it on track.
Okay, so here we are. We put the car on a track here, and Dan's going to put the power on to it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Hey, you can almost see people in there.
Yeah, I didn't put any people in there. I suppose you could do that eventually if you wanted to. You need a lot of people though.
Yeah. Turn it off again. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And of course, the daylight didn't really run at night, but you know, it's still good to have lights in the car.
It looks neat.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that'll wrap it up for this video podcast. So thanks again for listening, and be sure to tune into our audio podcast on the 15th every month. And, you know, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.